I'd like to talk a little bit about the process that's coming up for the bidding of the tennis center in Flamingo Park, the new one, and the North Shore Tennis Center. And I would like to also talk to the commissioners and give them some little insight on what we've been doing for the last 11 years. Turn that left shoulder more, turn, and all the way out away from you, not too bad. Move in as you're volleying to close it out. And better on the split step, don't move that wrist on the volley. Get underneath, that's it. We started off with Flamingo, and then when North Shore Tennis Center was completed, this is our 9th year here. It's all this down in here. Reach up. There you go. We wanted to bring youth back and families back by having after-school programs, having activities with families and tournaments. That was our springboard, and then we went into what we call the Bollettieri style of teaching. We started out with the private lessons and the after-school program, but we really springboarded with a junior academy. And that really took off, and we had students coming from across the bay, from the Miami Shores area, from Aventura, from Sunny Isles, from Bell Harbor, as well as the Miami Beach kids. We started having monthly tournaments, and then the greatest thing that happened was that the ladies' leagues loved the new tennis center. They came in here with their league events, and that really brought the North Shore Tennis Center alive to what it is today.
You know, since that first year, we've been doing better and better and better. And it's just been a pleasure to be a part of such a wonderful experience with all the girls.
Being on South Florida and Miami Beach is very international. So we have a staff that's from all over the world that teaches tennis in a modern day style. We really try to stay up to date with the latest things that are taking place in the game of tennis. And that's the Bollettieri system, to create new ways of playing the game, looking at the game, understanding the game.
I've been to a few clubs before with my brother's a tennis pro, and they basically fully hire interns, which they don't pay any money to, and then you find that the kids come and go after 3 months, so no one gets to forge relationships. And I think the critical thing that Jimmy's done is he's got a good core group of coaches that everyone's got personal relationships with, and I think that's really important.
So our staff is more of a grassroots, hands-on pick staff. We've got the certain staff that are going to teach the tiny tots or the younger kids.
We make some games about like a forehand, we make some game about backhand, we make some game about serve. It's the only way you can take the little kid in the court, and they learn that way.
If you follow tennis today, it's very dynamic now between the movement and the personality. And we brought that into both parks, and you can see that with our young and up-and-coming players. You can see that with our top club players, and you can even see that with some of our elderly players. We call that a grassroots, hand-on approach, not a corporate approach in any way. More of a community spirit type approach is the way we've approached Flamingo Park and the North Shore Tennis Center.
I know that Jimmy was there with Agassi and Sampras and Courier, and basically he has transformed the teachings to the young people, and I think he's done a great job. He's a great communicator, great teacher, very devoted. He loves the sport. He grew up in the sport. He was born. He breathes the sport, and there's no better. There is really no better advocate for tennis than the Bollettieri family in this country.
A tennis family. These guys have you know, they have their fingerprints all over tennis more than any other family in this world. And for us to have somebody like Jimmy is such a blessing, and we can't, you know, we can't take it for granted. We should be, you know, kissing his feet for him to be doing this.
When I moved here and I found out they had the courts, I was surprised. You know, it brings a lot of prestige to the courts, because the Bollettieri name is a big name in tennis. You know, it's been there for a long time, so it brings a lot of, I think, a lot of prestige nationally, internationally, because it's, you know, it's a name it's a brand.
I belong to a lot of different tennis clubs in New York, and I've played at different country clubs, and my kids played competitively all through high school and a little bit of college. And when I came down here, I was looking for a place, you know, that I could play at, that feel comfortable at. And I've spent some time at IMG in Bradenton. I've spent some time at some other tennis places. But when you go to Jimmy's place, and that's what I call it, at North Shore, yes, it's a tennis facility. Yes, you pay to go there, but you feel like it's like a little home, like a family. Everybody knows each other.
In closing, all I ask is that the city commissioners take time to choose the new operators of Flamingo and North Shore Park. The city would be giving up an economic engine, as well as being a longtime public servant to many of the families and patrons to the parks. And make note that the Bollettieri name internationally brings in overseas visitors willing to spend money in the parks. Thanks again for the opportunity for serving the public, and in the future as well.